If you don't love Baton Rouge, that's because you just don't know Baton Rouge. And if you don't know Baton Rouge, you're about to. I'm Brandy B. Harris. This is Love 225. Shout out to Ayo Blue for the fresh new beat. Welcome to Love 225, where we are all about the color and culture of the capital city. I've been telling you, we've been driving all around, meeting some new people, trying out some new things, visiting some new places. And we've got a lot for you this week, including Baton Rouge's connection to actual colors. Yeah, real colors. Did you know that Baton Rouge contributes to the world in a major way? One of the most important ingredients in crayons made right here in the capital city. So stick around. We're getting very colorful today on Love 225. Then we're heading back to Scotlandville for a good old cup of joe. Southern Cofe has brought a laid-back coffee vibe to the Southern University campus. And the owner of Southern Cofe, Horatio, says this is just the manifestation of what he hoped to do some 20 years ago when he was a student at SU.
Take it here, you could blow anywhere. You ain't gonna get it easy.
Yeah, there's a documentary series highlighting some of the biggest rappers out of Baton Rouge. Part 1 is already out, but we are getting a very special preview of Part 2. We're talking to the narrator, the director behind it. They'll share some of the stories that they have of the capital city's most successful hip-hop artists. And of course, I told you we'll be highlighting the 50th anniversary of hip-hop all year long. And guess what? One of our special guests is a rapper himself. I cannot wait for this interview. But back to the color. Crayons are an integral part of early learning for kids. Billions of crayons are used around the world each and every year, and there's a connection between Baton Rouge and that colorful tool.
For elementary students, crayons are everything.
The little ones, of course, this is like the first thing that they start off with, holding it. But even more so than that, they are learning how to express themselves. So you have kids that come in that won't even talk to you, but they can pick up a crayon.
Crayons have been used by artists around the world for centuries. And according to MIT, it was in 1903 that Edward Benny is credited with creating the brightly colored crayons that we know today. Each year at schools across the country, both kids and teachers use crayons for learning.
Crayons were definitely like the building block. Like, there's no way that I could have gotten this far artistically if I hadn't started with picking up that one little crayon.
But there's a connection between Baton Rouge and the more than 100-year-old art utensil used all around the world, paraffin wax.
Pretty important element that you need for crayons is wax, and I am proud to say we make wax here at this refinery.
Through an oil manufacturing process operator Jessica Vallette says the Exxon refinery in Baton Rouge makes about 8 million pounds of wax for crayons each year.
And it gets purified, and then it heads out across the country, throughout the world, to become crayons, candles, and any number of other products.
That 8 million pounds of wax turns into about 7.5 million crayons per day.
While Exxon makes the wax that goes into crayons all over the country, it's the students, like here at the art class at Villa Del Rey, that get to take full advantage of the color.
According to art teacher Brianna Lewis, her one art class goes through thousands of crayons each year. And that's about 250,000 crayons used by the whole school in a school year. Before the kids, it's just about picking up a crayon and adding color to the world.
Thanks to the kids at Villa Del Rey for helping me to tell that story. Well, that was the color. Coming up next, we're going to give you the culture. Yeah, we're getting a preview look at Diamonds in the Dirt with creator Matt Keith and rapper Max Manelli. I can't wait for this interview. Make sure you stay tuned right here on Love 225. And we're back. This is Love 225. Today we are joined by some special guests. That was a preview of their documentary. We have Matt Keith, CEO of Leverage Films, and legendary, absolutely legendary, iconic Baton Rouge rapper, Max Minnelli. Gentlemen, thank y'all so much for joining us at Love 225 today. So that was a small taste, okay? We'll have the full preview, the full trailer of Diamonds in the Dirt on our Love 225 website on WBRZ.com. But first, Matt, tell me, why make a documentary about hip hop in Baton Rouge?
On a past life, I have a music background, and it's basically, like I said, just something that I've kind of lived. It's been my entire life. So I started this project actually years ago, and with the flood, lost a bunch of footage and stuff, and kind of was a little discouraged. But then I decided to pick it up. I called Max to get an interview from him. He's like, well, I'm doing a similar project. So within like 24 hours, he said, let's do it together. So, you know, we've been friends for 20 plus years, so, you know, it was an easy decision.
So it was just natural to do it. And then Max, for you, obviously you're well known for your own artistry in Baton Rouge.
Right.
Why do you think it's important to highlight, you know, other artists that have also come out of Baton Rouge and to tell a complete story, to paint a complete picture of hip hop music in this city?
I mean, because like we got some of the biggest artists in the world right now, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like you say, is me being an artist over the past 20 years or so, I noticed that we don't get the recognition that we supposed to get as a city. So it was really important for me to, you know, try to tell the history. You know, there's a lot of people who laid the foundation that don't get, you know, the credit they deserve. And so, you know, that was my mentality behind wanting to just put everything out so people could understand, you know, the history and to where we are now.
So tell me, how does it feel knowing that you've been like one of the pioneers in this area as far as, you know, continuing the hip hop movement in Baton Rouge, and now, you know, one of the biggest artists in hip hop, NBA Youngboy from Baton Rouge, and we can literally just list off a whole long list of producers, rappers, managers, even like Trillion T, so many people from right here in Baton Rouge that have made a huge impact on the global hip hop community. How does that make you feel knowing you've been a part of that story?
Man, I feel good. It makes me feel good, and especially knowing that, you know, like when I first started, when I was, you know, a little youngster, it wasn't really no rap game in BR. You know, it wasn't so we kind of like pioneered, you know, along with a few other people that, you know, they had Nero before us and Silky Slim, Kuiper, people like that, which we all cover in the documentary. But, you know, yeah, it's like, you know, we blazed the trail, you know what I'm saying? We made a way where there was no way. And, you know, basically created something that wasn't there before and was able to pass it down to what it is now, you know.
I love that concept. I'm constantly talking to our team about that. You know, there was nothing here, and we conceptually created something, and now we've made it. We've put it there. That's amazing.
That's my favorite thing, like being a creator is like being able to just pull something out the thin air that wasn't there before, and then you turn it into something tangible. Like that's the, you know, the thing that gives me the most fulfillment.
I love that. And Matt, you know, part one already out, part two coming soon, but there's some other steps in between now and part two, right? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, well, like I said, part one we put out in 2022. We have also Diamonds in the Dirt Recap, which is coming out at the end of this month, and it's basically behind the scenes of the making of part one. And we have, it's hosted by cool DJ Super Mike. You know, it's a sit down with him and Max, and we show some like unreleased footage, behind the scenes, extended segments, and like I said, that'll be on Tubi-tv, Prime, Apple, Google, all your platforms.
I'm gonna let you slide between and say it right. It's cool, DJ Super Mike. Okay, we gotta make sure we get that in. And when can people expect part two? What is gonna be in part two? What can we expect?
Okay, part two is gonna be at the end of this year, and part one basically covered from 1985 to 2000. And then part two is gonna cover everything that happened from 2000 to 2010. So kind of everybody who came up in that decade is gonna be on part two.
Okay, well, we are excited to see it. We started with the original history and the establishing of the hip hop community in Baton Rouge, and we're gonna get right on into the modern era. Gentlemen, thank y'all so much for joining us with this preview of Diamonds in the Dirt. Some great stuff coming up. But before we go, we've got even more still to come right here on Love 225, including coffee. Y'all like coffee? No. I love coffee. You don't like coffee? At the time that we got to get up, I'm drinking coffee all day, every day. I'm a caffeine fiend, and we've got a special coffee shop up in Scotlandville, Southern Cofe. We'll check them out coming up right here on Love 225. For today's installment of Red Stick Greasy Spoon, here on Love 225, we're heading back to Scotlandville for some Java here at Southern Cofe. There's a coffee shop that is owned by a Southern grad who was brought back to the campus, bringing the coffee beans that he loves. So tell me, how did you get into the coffee business?
We just started in 2000, a place called House of Java. But prior to that, I would work my full-time job and work at night at a place called Joe Mug. So it got me familiar with the business side of things.
So that was 2000, right? So then how did we get to Southern Coffee here near Southern University in Scotlandville?
I got a call from a homegirl who was in the law school. She said, Horatio, CC's isn't here anymore, and she was in a panic. I said, well, don't panic. What do I have to do with this? Reached out to the chancellors. They reached back, and we got a meeting within probably a week or two. Next thing you know, the next 3 weeks, we were in there doing business.
Sounds like when timing and preparation meet opportunity, it creates luck.
Correct, and we also call it divine purpose and order. You know, maybe it just wasn't time for me to take on that journey then, because I probably would have handled things differently. Because I was thinking that original business plan, I wanted to be by an HBCU, I wanted to be by Southern University and start this journey. And so when I got to Alexandria, they supported me like no other. And it just balanced me out as a person, as a business person, in terms of just doing great business with people in general.
Talk to me about how you have like a community or people-based approach to your business.
We've developed these partnerships over the years. Our community was more conscious about what we've been putting in our bodies. And so for me, it was just a teaching moment and a journey. It's just made all the difference for the brand, for myself, for the community.
Okay, so talk to me about coffee and Cofe.
Initially, when we started, we were called Southern Grind Cofe. I got a letter from a company out of Alabama saying, hey, we have a trademark on that word, grind, in this space. And after some conversations with local lawyers and attorneys, our best interest was to remove that. And all that time I was fighting for the word grind, but the secret sauce was in the word Cofe. When I first started putting this together, it was Southern Grind, Coffee House and Cafe, and it was just so long it didn't roll off the tongue, and that was nothing just cool about it. And so one day I just woke up in the middle of the day or the night, and I said Cofe, Coffee House and Cafe, and I combined the two, and that's how we got here.
Why does Southern Cofe make the business more authentic to the community?
Right, because it's not just Southern Coffee House. That word really piques people's interest. Hey, you misspelled cafe. I said, well, no, it's Cofe, and then we go into how we got there.
You started a business plan in 1997, and now in 2023, you have a fully fledged coffee house near your HBCU, just like the plan. I mean, how do you feel?
I feel that it's bigger than me. I'm very humbled by this community every time they come in here. And what does bother me a little bit, they say, it's not even supposed to be here. Yes, it is. It's ours, it's yours. Embrace it, love it, and let's make sure we're fighting a good fight and protect and serve.
You can visit the good man Horatio over at Southern Cofe from 8 to 5, Monday through Saturday. I promise you will not be disappointed, and you can learn more on Southern Cofe's Facebook page. So don't go away. We, of course, have much more still to come right here on Love 225. We're talking about flow. The flows of Flau'jae Johnson, that is, with the LSU women's basketball team. Of course, we're going to be judging her flow and more. That's all coming up next right here on Love 225. Stick around. And we're back for more on Love 225. I'm Brandy B. Harris, and today we have all of our special guests joining us for our new segment, Is It a 10? So let me introduce some of our guests to you. I will introduce them right now. Legendary, iconic Baton Rouge rapper, Max Minnelli. Thank you so much for joining us. This is my mentee right here, y'all, right here in the middle. This is Kendall Jones, graduating senior from the Southern University. And of course, CEO of Leverage Films, Mr. Matt Keith, okay? These are the men behind Diamonds in the Dirt. We gave you a preview of that earlier. You'll have more on that on our website. But first, we're either gonna be giving things a 10 or it's gonna be a hard chop, okay? I want honest answers only, hot takes. Yeah, that's Big Four. That's Flau'jae Johnson, who's a beast for the Tiger women's basketball team. She's a beast on and off the court. She's the SEC Freshman of the Year. She's also signed to Jay-Z's Rock Nation, and she got the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent after winning the Natty. She says you can expect more from her both on the hardwood and in the booth. So, Max, I'm gonna start with you. Obviously, I feel like you're the expert when it comes to this. What you think about Flau'jae?
I'm gonna give her a 10. Man.
Hard 10. I love that. Kendall?
10 out of 10. We have to support Black women wherever and wherever we can.
We love that. Okay, Matt?
I'm gonna go with a 10 as well.
Okay, everybody hold up your 10s. Just 10s across the board for Big Four. And just while we're still on it, Max, how hard do you think it is to be Freshman of the Year, SEC, a national champion, and she's a full-time rapper?
Gotta be hard, like, she got a lot on her plate. Salute to her for, getting it all done.
We love it. Now, this next thing, y'all, I don't know how I feel about it, so I'm ready to know how y'all feel. Starbucks recently announced that they are mixing a Mediterranean staple into their coffee drinks. It's olive oil. Yeah, according to the Cleveland Clinic, olive oil is linked with a range of health benefits from lowered blood pressure to reduce inflammation. Starbucks coffee has infused extra virgin olive oil into their drinks, giving you a velvety smooth, deliciously lush drink. It comes in lattes, ice shaken espressos, and cold brews. How do we feel about olive oil in our coffee?
I mean, I like olive oil, but in the coffee, I don't even really drink coffee, so I'm gonna give it a chop.
A chop? Oh my God. Kendall, what you say?
I'm gonna have to give that a chop too.
A chop?
A greasy coffee.
Give me a hard chop.
Yeah.
It's a
Very
chop.
hard.
Max, what you say?
No way.
Absolutely no? Oh my
Absolutely not.
God, but it could be good
I don't
for
like
you.
coffee at all, and nah.
How do you
I'm
do
cool on
it?
all that.
I feel like there's caffeine in my veins, man.
I mean, I get caffeine other kind of ways, but coffee, nah.
Okay.
I like root beer.
Oh, root beer, okay. We're gonna stick with Celsius and root beer around here. A little
Right.
root beer float for breakfast. Well, still, of course, it's festival season here in South Louisiana. There's all kind of festivals, but the question is, we only have one hip hop festival. Yeah, Boosie Bash happens each and every year over at Southern University. It's a big time success. Again, local rapper or locally known rapper, Boosie, who's now obviously is a pretty big deal. People have a good time. Do we want to see more hip hop festivals? I was there for this one. This was 3 or 4 years ago, and I mean, it has only grown since then. Do we want to see more of that?
Yes, 10.
A 10?
Definitely, yep.
Definitely 10.
I'm gonna go with a 10 as well.
Okay, so who ideally, who would be an ideal artist other than yourself to see at maybe another hip hop festival or at Boosie Bash?
I mean, I like to see some legends like Nas or somebody like that.
Okay, I've seen Nas at the House of Blues. That's a fire performance. Kendall, who you think?
Right now, Lola Brooke is really like up and coming, really
Don't play
hot.
with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. We love that. Matt, what you think?
I would like to see more of the Baton Rouge artists, just like he
Okay.
had at the first one, and give them a chance to shine in front of 10,000 people.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say more local.
And there's so many local artists that are blowing up thanks to like TikTok and all the social media is giving everybody a free platform, right? I know you've experienced some growth in your career just from the internet and social
I
media
always
taking
say,
it off.
man, I wish we had social media and YouTube and all that when we first started.
Why? Why would it make a difference?
Because it's a whole lot easier.
It's
A
easier.
whole lot of tools to reach more people, in a quicker way.
That's right.
Back then we had to, hit the road, hug people and kiss babies.
You can still hug people and kiss babies.
Well, yeah, but
Okay. Well, we love that. Thank y'all so much for your honest takes. Starbucks, I don't know if you got anything with the olive oil coffee. And make sure you're also following all of these folks on social media. Give me your Instagram handle real
And
quick.
Max Manelli got a new album just came out, The Burden of Greatness. It's on all platforms. Go check it out. You heard me.
All right, Kendall.
Gotcha. My Instagram is k.akilAAA.
Okay, and Matt?
At Leverage Films, and also follow at Diamonds in the Dirt Film.
Yes,
As well.
we cannot wait for part 2 for the recap of Diamonds in the Dirt. If you did not see the first one, we already have part 1. We'll have some links posted to that on our website. Stick around. We've got more of Love 225 still to come right here on WBRZ. We'll be back. P.S. We've got something very special here in South Louisiana, and of course, we want to share it all with you. So make sure you like, follow, and share at The Love 225 Show on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.